Welcome guys. I'm back again with another video and this time it's pretty much interesting probably. The truth you didn't know about me. Yeah, I decided to share actually the hidden truth that hello who just joined. I decided to share the hidden truth about myself that you guys didn't know about me. And actually, just a very few people know about this about me. So it means neither my family knows, neither most of my friends know, only a few closest friends, and my mom knows a little bit what I'm about to share with you about myself. So why it's important for me to share this? Because I feel that it's part of authenticity. It's very important for me because it's my one of foundational values in life to be authentic with whatever I do, with whoever I'm in contact with. So this is the reason why. As well, I feel that my identity expands. It's not anymore about just emotional intelligence, as you guys know me and my work, what I'm doing with. So I feel that I'm on some sort of edge of change, of expansion, and I feel that the box that I put myself into right now with emotional intelligence becomes too tight for me and it feels uncomfortable anymore. And that's why I feel like I need to share this info about myself so then you will be so then you will better understand the shift and change in my profile, in the content that I will share with you guys. I'm still not quite sure how it's gonna look like, how I will position all of that from which perspective. I just know that I'm expanding and I'm looking now for the direction exactly where and how. Uh, so I was actually, guys, procrastinating doing this video for very long, but I thought to myself that no, if I will not talk about it, I will never. So I just jump in here without much preparation, so I'm a bit worried about it because also it's pretty much vulnerable information about myself that I wasn't sharing with many people. So it's time. And yeah, people know me. People know me, they know my physical information, where I live, what I studied, what I'm working, what my characteristic, how to say, character features are. The most what I heard about myself from others is that being optimistic, wise, intelligent, empathetic, all of that, yes, people can see, can feel it. But they don't know another side of me, another side that is a spiritual side of me. My spiritual abilities, how I'm receiving the information, how I'm receiving my guidance, how that so-called intuition is working for me, right? So I wasn't aware of this part of myself. I became aware, I started becoming aware maybe, yeah, from 2018 actually, when one special connection triggered this experience to have and to start seeing all of that within myself. So before I start revealing the truth about myself, I just want to tell you guys that it's not that is something special about me, because I see that all people have equal access to the same experience, to the same spiritual experience. we just need to become more aware that we have it and how it works in our life. So maybe this video will help you as well to discover that spiritual part within yourself as well. So, you see how much I'm delaying revealing my truth, revealing the truth about myself. And another reason why it's very important for me to to speak about this topic, right? To speak the truth about myself is because of my throat chakra, because of my voice, because of vocalizing my authenticity, because that's one of things that I'm working lately on the throat chakra. That is, I identified that it's blocked because of the very intense feeling of shame and guilt. So because now I'm working through this, uh, so I know that I need to confront it and speak it and face the fear of possibility to be judged by others for my truth, for who I am and for how I am. So yeah, this is another reason, and that's it. Reasons. Let's go straight to the truth. What are those spiritual abilities all about? What am I talking? So, first of all, how I'm getting information from a spiritual world. I'm hearing it. Literally, I'm hearing it. I'm like having my inner coach. And I always just thought that I just like to talk with myself. Really, I did believe for many years till I became aware that that inner talk, inner dialogue is something else. It's not my own makeup, not my own doing. So that hearing works through the thoughts. And now I will share with you few examples how it works in two different ways for me. First example, very beautiful. I remember my very first memory of having this experience is when I was 5 years old kid. My mom left me in the apartment for, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, maybe more. She went to the shop to buy butter to cook. And nobody was there to be with me. So she left me for the first time. And I was paranoid. I was feeling terrified. Not so much that I stayed alone, but because of the apartment that we were living in. It was so freaking scary. And now, when I'm talking with my mom about this topic, she shared with me that, yeah, she saw some ghosts there. She felt the same corridor being very terrifying because she felt that somebody's following her. But okay, not about this. So I just wanted to show how scared I was to stay alone in that apartment. But I did. And I sat down on the shell of the window in the kitchen, and I was looking down, watching people, and I knew that I need to keep my focus there because I was very afraid to turn back. I always felt that somebody was behind me. And I froze myself from fear, and I started talking with Jesus. Yeah. I started talking with Jesus because at that time, from very early age, the figure of Jesus was very, very close to me. Now, when I'm joking, he always was and probably still is, my, how to say, invisible friend that I was communicating with. So the first communication happened exactly when I was sitting on that window shell, looking down, and I started like talking with him, like telling him, Jesus, I so much want my mommy back. I'm so afraid to stay here. Please bring her back soon, fast. Like, help me. I'm so afraid. Something along these lines. And believe it or no, you don't need to believe it. I know what I experienced. But I started receiving the answers. It it was something like And those answers felt like, why I know that it wasn't my own makeup and my own doing to give myself those answers, as in adulthood we might think like that, right? Because my questions and my thoughts were like childlike. Like, oh, Jesus, when my mom will come back, right? I'm very afraid, please help me. And the answers that came to me felt very, very calm and very mature and very adult-like. Me being a 5 years old kid, would never even construct the sentence in that way. Even though the construction was very simple for a kid to understand, but it was so clear, so without distractions, without additional words, and it was so calming, so soothing, soothing. Yeah, you know what I mean. So what happened then? I started communication. I asked the question when my mommy will come. I started receiving answer. Your mommy is in the shop, la 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 la. Very calm, very peaceful. And then I started asking some other questions and I started receiving answers and I went deep into, let's say, conversation. What happened is my mom came back and I didn't notice. I didn't notice because during that conversation, all of the space and the sense of time simply disappeared. I forgot about all of my fears that I had. It didn't bother me anymore. And it felt like mom came back after 5 minutes, maybe even less, when she basically was out for much longer because I think she bought more than butter. But doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, that was the experience. So how I was hearing that information, it wasn't so much acoustic physically as or acoustic externally as it was acoustic internally. It was some kind of in the shape of the thought. And we are still doing this when we are adults. Just the question is, who are we communicating with, right? So it was in the shape of forms. So another example how I hear the information is when the thought hits me out of the blue, when it's not inner coach conversation, when the thought just hits me. For example, I had a dilemma in my life, the question that I really was looking the answer for, and I finally gave up on that question because it exhausted me. I went to a dance party, social dance party. I was dancing salsa with a guy that I saw for the first time. And when I dance, guys, I tell you, my head is empty. It's like a meditation, the form of meditation for me. So, what actually happened? In the middle of the dance, just out of the blue, the thought just hit my head. Just the answer. The answer came to my mind during the moment when I didn't have any thought in my head. And I would never ever think that thought because it was like I needed even some moments to grasp the information. What was that all about? And I was like, then, oh yeah, it makes sense. You see? So this is the way how I'm hearing the information. Another way, second way is I'm seeing information as well. And by seeing, I mean I have, there are two ways. Or I have a vision during a middle of the day. I see the visual or I see the situation, and how to explain, a few types of visuals. When I see a vision in the middle of the day, or yes, or I have visuals by memories when I raise a question that I need to get the answer, but I will come to this later. So, for example, when I get a vision during the middle of the day, sometimes I'm not even aware when it's a vision and when it's my own makeup, my own doing, right? Because I'm a person who loves daydreaming from my early age. Love to live in my like imaginary world, let's see. But I started becoming aware that not all my daydreaming is my own doing. That sometimes in those daydreamings are actual visions, whether it's about the future, whether maybe it's about the past, because sometimes it happens that I can't even identify whether I experienced that in the past, whether I was dreaming about this, but I just have a feeling that that vision already I lived that, somehow I experienced that, and that's how I'm not sure. Still, I'm working on this to understand how it works. But one thing for sure I know, at least I had one experience like that. When I saw a vision in the middle of the day about uh, one person in my life, about his role actually in my life. And I was like, at that time, I was completely sleeping about myself. I wasn't aware about any of these, what I'm sharing with you now. So I saw the vision, and also, yeah, I need to add additionally that sometimes the vision comes as a mix together with a uh, how to say, with the hearing the information. Sometimes it's a combination. So this is the example that I got a vision about a person and about his role in my life, and the message first was shown by symbols. I had to decode it to understand the message, and after a few seconds I got that vision. I got the same thought in my head, sounding out loud what the role of that person is in my life. And I know that it wasn't my own makeup, my own doing, because I knew that person for maybe a few months, maybe 1 month, maybe even less now. I'm thinking it was in 2018. So because I remember that I started arguing that what the fuck was that when I got that experience of the visual during the day. I was like, no, that's not true. When I got that information, what the role he plays in my life or he's about to play in my life, I was like, what was that? Like, that's weird. Like, Lily, like, stop. Like, you're imagining too much. And at that time, I didn't understand. But later on, everything fallen down. When I became more and more aware of myself, I saw that in 1 year term, uh, everything what was told basically started manifesting. So yeah, basically I'm seeing also visuals by information getting by visuals, but it happens not so often. My strongest skill ability is to hear information. uh yeah, so like this. Another truth is how I'm getting information is by feeling. And probably this is the most common between all of us. Probably most people are aware of this spiritual ability that they have. Maybe not everybody names it like that, right? So I feel information. At least I feel when something feels off. And when something what was told to me is not true, then some sort of emotion hits me straight to my solar center, like, and I'm like, and I don't know even how to identify that feeling, but something like off, and that's it. And I know, and at the moment when I'm in the connection with the person who is telling me some information, and when I have that sensation in my body, usually at the same time I can't recognize what it's all about, why it's not the truth. But the second I disconnect from that person, I go my own ways, my own way, then immediately the answers start bombarding me in all of those different ways that I mentioned you. By the feeling, mm, not by the feeling, by visuals, by acoustics. And yeah, I forgot to mention that visuals also I'm getting as a memories. Let's say, when I raise a question and then the answer comes by visual memories from certain situations in my life, or what I saw, or a single picture that I saw. I'm getting like codes, like codes that when it comes into one place, it connects all dots, and then I'm like, whoosh, see the bigger picture. I'm calling this experience like the eagle eye, having the eagle eye experience. Hello, who joined. This video is about the truth that you didn't know about me. I'm at the end already, so yeah. Uh, okay, so let's continue. So another way how I'm getting information is through feeling. It hits me to my solar center that something is off, and I get information what is off when I disconnect from that person. Hey, Vikita. I'm getting information when I disconnect from that person, from the energy of that person. Then all the answers come to me in all those ways, like visually, acoustically, through thoughts, memories, and so on. So another way how I'm receiving information, it's the fourth way, is during the night dreams. During the night dreams, oof, usually I don't remember my night dreams. And for many, many years, I just can't remember. But what I do remember from night dreams is emotion, is the feeling. For example, I'm doing whatever, like cooking, or cleaning, whatever, or working by the computer, and the feeling just hits me. And for a 1 second, millisecond, some visual comes back and it runs away, and I don't know what it was all about. But lately I started remembering more and more, and during night dreams I'm getting information about my own life or about the life of another person. So I started practicing actually reaching out to that person that was in my night dream and sharing what I was dreaming, because maybe somehow they will recognize, will be relevant for them to know, will be important for them to know that. Mm, yeah, and also during my night dreams, I time after time I'm receiving a prophetic message, and how it looks. For example, I wake up with a certain message sounding in my head, and usually most of the times it happened that I there was nothing. You know that stage when you are just starting to wake up, that process of coming back into the physical, and it looked like it was some sort of nothingness, like a black vacuum of nothingness. And I needed to go through this, and during in that vacuum I'm hearing the messages that I wake up with. For example, one time I heard that if you need things to change in your life, you need to change everything about your life. What a logic. So, and my recent message was a prophetic message that I finally shared, because I felt that maybe it's not only for me, maybe it's something for the collective to hear. So the message was, if you want to move forward, you need to go back, because that was my topic at that time when I heard that message. I was feeling very stuck. I'm still not quite out of that stage, but at least I already know what I need to do to change the situation. So, yeah, that message was very profound, and eventually I understood what it meant in my personal life. I took actions on it, and it was beautiful. I had to come back home in order to have a certain experience and to realize some very important things about myself, and where the problem was in relations to others. So, yeah, this prophetic messages during night dreams. And the third way during night dreams, how I'm getting information, that happened a few times, but it was very profound. For example, I sometimes I'm connecting with the thoughts of another person. And no, I'm not joking. This is real, guys. This experience is real. So I'm hearing the inner thoughts of another person, and at the same time, I'm feeling those feelings that another person is experiencing while thinking those thoughts about me. So, for example, when I was in Lisbon in Erasmus, I came back. Um, I was living with my very good friends. We became very good friends, and one the best friend still by now living in Poland. And it was very sad to leave them, to say bye. And one night I was dreaming again. There was nothingness. It was a black vacuum of nothingness. And I just started hearing the music. His song that he was playing so often during Erasmus time in the apartment. And that song symbolized me, him. I associated that song with him. And when that song started playing, I started feeling such good feelings. And I told myself, yeah, that's his song, something like that. So, and that's in this experience, I was feeling what he was feeling. And it turned out, and when this song finished, I woke up, I checked my phone, it was 1 a.m. Now listen, I've fallen asleep back again. I woke up in the morning to go to the university. I turned my Facebook on, and what do you think? Yeah, he tagged me. He posted that song and tagged me. And he did that at 1 a.m. So I connected with him while I was sleeping. Another experience that was very, very recent. I had a day nap while I was having, that thing. Let's see. When I didn't feel well, I had a day nap, and I heard the inner chat of thoughts about me in another person. I mean, I heard what another person was thinking about me, what the dialogue about me she was having within herself. And I know exactly why, because she saw one video of mine exactly at that time. Because I posted during midnight, like in after the midnight, so during that day probably she saw that video, and then I started hearing the inner chit chat. Again, it was in black, uh, black vacuum, was some kind of void of nothingness. I just was hearing, like acoustically hearing her inner talk, and that experience actually confirmed me. It came as a confirmation, as the answer that I was looking for, that I asked. Uh, why am I feeling different feelings from that person while seeing something completely opposite? You know, when somebody shows you and represents themselves to you in one way, but behind all of that, it's not true. It's like a cover. So, and I was beating myself up. It was during my shadow work experience when I disconnected from people, from the world, and I I was beating myself up that by blaming myself that I'm projecting my dirty feelings on another person. Look, she's doing so good and she helps and so on, blah blah. Why am I having all of those feelings within me? So I thought I'm projecting on that person. And it turned out that no, I always was feeling the truth behind the matter, the truth beyond the matter. So yeah, that's how it works for me. So in summary, uh, the truth that you didn't know about me are all of these spiritual gifts, if you can say like that, because in my belief we all are gifted spiritually, just not every person is aware of that or didn't develop those skills and abilities, right? So yeah, I get information by hearing it, by seeing it, by dreaming it, and by feeling it. So that's it, guys. For the final note, final message is that I hope now you see why it was important for me to share this information, to share this truth about myself with you, because it doesn't fit anymore of who I am and how I am. It doesn't fit anymore in the box of emotional intelligence. Yes, all of these spiritual, let's say, abilities help in coaching so much to sense the truth, to see beyond the matter, but I'm getting such insights into outlook about the life itself, about what's to happen, like prophetic predictions or special concepts on how things work on a spiritual level, that I feel as more I'm holding it back just to myself, keeping it just to myself, I'm some kind of like like I don't want to say it, but it feels like I'm dying from within. That I'm like flower, like closing down, and I feel like I need to share it. So I promise you, you will see changes in my content in this channel. I'm still not sure how I'm going to wrap it up, but there will be everything and tips, knowledge, experience about emotional intelligence and about spiritual intelligence and about practical intelligence. So many things. And when I will be clear with the vision, then I will let you guys know what the changes I'm making with the channel. But with this video, I made the first mini step to a huge change. Okay, so that's it, guys. Was really nice to be back again and hear you. See you around soon. Ciao.